Christmas wish list. If you're Brad Treliving around the holiday season, what are you looking at between now and the March 7th trade deadline? Zach, we'll start with you. What are you looking for?
This one I went back and forth on a bunch. There's a lot of different options I think you could go with, and I was thinking about like players. Is that the direction I want to go? The one I want is if I were to wake up tomorrow and I got this under the Christmas tree, the one thing that I want is a successful power play. It's
Uh,
not regular season. It is not a regular season issue. Think about every year over the last like 4 or 5 years, what has happened with this team come playoff time. The power play falls off. The playoffs is so hard to score 5-on-5 at even strength. It tightens up like you never even imagine. And it's like every time you get an opportunity here at an odd man situation, it's not 100%, but you need to find ways to score goals. Think about the Edmonton power play last year on their cup run or their run to the cup finals against Florida. Their power play was flying. The Leafs, atrocious, like worst in the playoffs. If you can wake up tomorrow and find a way to get this power play clicking and not just scoring goals, but actually the process being there, looking like they have a sense of urgency, being just this lethal threat that other teams don't want to take penalties against, that I think puts you so far ahead in terms of where you could be having success and seeing success throughout the remainder of the regular season and then into the playoffs this year. So that is like the biggest wish list for me because that even just goes beyond just this season. This is years of frustration with that group.
Yeah, you took my pick there, so I will pivot quickly, and I'm going to look for a healthy roster, right? I feel like all year we've been missing guys. We've been trying to just play a little game of Tetris, seeing what fits here, what fits there. I think just seeing who's healthy and what they have depth-wise, right, for an extended amount of time, right? We pass judgment on players playing outside their role, trying to find guys at center. This guy's bouncing around everywhere. It'll be nice to see a healthy roster, right? I think all year we've been missing players. Guys have been in and out of the lineup. So I think just getting a little bit of health, hopefully this little break can get some guys some time off to get ready to go. And I think once we see what we have, at least there'll be an extended amount of time until the trade deadline. Then we really know where this Toronto Maple Leafs team is at.
Yeah, and my wish is just to keep on, performing in a way that creates an identity, and I think they're trying to do that under Craig Berube. Like they mentioned, it's been said that's not going to happen overnight. There's going to be some growing pains, and maybe there have been, but I think it's gone pretty smoothly, the transition to Craig Berube. But for the rest of the season, I would love for them to continue to put those building blocks together where when the playoffs hit, they're standing on the cliff like the 300 Army, and they're just like, we know exactly who we are. We know exactly what to do. We don't give a shit who's down there. We're just going to roll everyone, and the confidence is through the roof, and they're like, drop the goddamn puck because we know exactly what we're doing, and they just go on this crusade to tear through the league and get to the Eastern Finals and try to take that down and get to the Stanley Cup Finals and get to the ultimate goal. You have to have a ton of confidence in everything clicking. Everyone knows who they are when that happens. I think they're kind of on their way to doing that, but I want them to really continue that. And if that means adding personnel and, beefing up the bottom six or whatever it is, I'm fine with. But to me, it's a mentality like before when they go into the playoffs, they're kind of biting their nails and almost worried and hoping, and it's just not conducive to domination. I want them to get that ship behind them, have nothing but confidence, knowing what they're doing. And I keep bringing up the Panthers over the last couple of years, but that's who you got to mold yourself after. That's who does it to a T. They're well coached. They know who they are. Everyone buys in, and they say, let's fucking go through this playoffs, and they have nothing but success because of it.
Personally, I'd like a time capsule because I want to get to the Stanley Cup playoffs, but sadly, I cannot have that. I can't believe you guys left it for me, but I want a center. If I'm Brad Treliving, I want another top nine center, whether it's Brock Nelson, who we saw over the weekend, we're going to see a couple times over the next little while. Scotty Lawton, who's got some term left, I think would be a perfect fit, but I don't know if Philadelphia is in a rush to let him go. Yanni Gord's going to be in that conversation. I think there's going to be a variety of different routes, but I would really like to solidify the position up the middle and move Max Domi back to the wing. I know he's back to center, but I think in the decision-making process, long-term, it makes sense to season Fraser Minton at the American Hockey League level, and I've got no issue with that. But I think, to that point, you need to pick up somebody else, and we'll see what they do between now, again, March 7th, the NHL trade deadline. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.